Vinny tells Dr. Drew that after the wedding problem, Angelina got support from social media, and all of that got out of hand. The guys and Dr. Drew agree that the group is supposed to keep issues inside the family and avoid social media. And I found that kind of odd because I think the show itself is social media. It's putting all of these activities. We don't see the behind-the-scene stuff. We don't see the edited stuff. But the stuff we see is the stuff that they're talking about here. It's the activities of the bridesmaids at Angelina's wedding, which caused Angelina to become so upset, embarrassed, and humiliated that now she wants a wedding redo. So everyone who watches the show is going to have an opinion, and the value of having a wedding and of what's said about the bride and the groom during the wedding depends on the bride and the groom. Some people are going to take a wedding very lightly, even though Angelina's wedding looked like it was very, very expensive, and other people are going to take it very seriously. In this case, Angelina says she was embarrassed for her husband, who had to listen to the remarks that the bridesmaids gave, and she was embarrassed for for her husband's family, who heard everything and were wondering exactly what were they getting with this new bride. Part of the fault was also Angelina, in that she decided not to have her best friend since elementary school be one of the bridesmaids. She decided to have the cast of Jersey Shore, who she did not get along with for the past 10 years, except for very short periods, and she had them be the people who would speak for her and talk about her as if they were real friends during her wedding, and that caused the problem. They only knew Angelina from the show, so what they referred to during the wedding were things they had experienced during the show, old jokes they said during the show, and they didn't have any knowledge of Angelina as a person and a character outside of Jersey Shore cast situations. The TV show showed the social media headlines that Angelina and her social media supporters were demanding that the show pay for the wedding redo because of the bridesmaids' mean and humiliating wedding speeches. Angelina insists she will not apologize to Jenny and is supported by her supporters on social media. Dr. Drew is sitting in the conference room talking with the men, and he looks and says, before we start, what's this in the other room? And the men show Dr. Drew the rubber dolls that Pauly had bought earlier to represent the females. And so there's, Snooky and Dina and Jenny and Angelina dolls there, and they look really sloppy. And it's one of the things that I worry about with these relationships, in that these men do feel that you can replace or depict actual people, your friends, with these horrible-looking rubber dolls. So Dr. Drew is over there poking at the rubber dolls and says, ooh, this is really weird. And then they decide it's time to start the meeting with Jenny. Mike and Ronnie accept the roles as mediators, so they go and get Jenny from her bedroom. They tell her Dr. Drew is downstairs, and Jenny says, am I getting an intervention? So the men say no, she's not getting an intervention, but the whole group is going to be helped by Dr. Drew, and to help get everyone back on the straight path so that the show can continue and the girls won't start talking again as they did in the past. Jenny, again starstruck, she's very nervous to enter, and she says, I'm so sorry my roommates bothered you. This was a very sophisticated Jenny that we never see on Jersey Shore. She was acting more in her mother role, and it was very interesting and nice to see Jenny as something other than the street fighter. She was starstruck and laughing with Dr. Drew with her hand outstretched and gave him a big hug, and it was really nice to see. Jenny says she has a fear of Angelina because Angelina does not have as much to lose as her. So I had to think about that. What does Jenny have to lose so much that the other cast members wouldn't have to lose? Well, they all will lose their money, their income, if the girls don't start talking. And that's the biggest thing everyone's worried about. This is their main job, and especially with COVID, it's even more important because it made everyone realize that Jersey Shore wasn't just a side job, but it really was their big income producer, no matter what else they do. I don't know what jobs Jenny has outside of Jersey Shore. I don't know if she works, and if she works, I don't know what she does. So she would lose her income as well as the others. The other thing I thought that she might lose, maybe she was thinking that she might lose her custody case. She is divorced from Roger, but I think they're still in child custody cases, and that can go on for years. And she might fear that the social media remarks will play an important role in deciding who's going to take custody of her kids. I doubt that would happen because social services would know that she is an entertainer on a reality show, and I don't think they would take reality show situations to be reality, and I think they would assess her on more real situations and what she's like outside of Jersey Shore. But I can't think of too much more that she has to lose that Angelina doesn't have to lose. But Jenny does feel that she has more to lose than Angelina. And Jenny also then claims that Angelina does not think logically, and that Angelina goes on social media and Jenny feels that is very damaging. Angelina thinks bridesmaids ruined the whole wedding, and she was supported by her social media followers. Meanwhile, Dina can't get the boys to respond to texts. They are up to something, she says to her husband Chris. I'm never wrong. So Dina goes to find out what is going on. Dina comes to the main resort suite, is introduced to Dr. Drew, and is invited to sit and stay for the meeting. She, too, is starstruck. She is shocked, and she says, "Is this an intervention?" Now, with Dr. Drew there, the issue of the message Jen sent to Dina as Dina was preparing to travel to Las Vegas rears its ugly head. Dina doesn't know that the rest of the cast know that Jenny sent a message to her saying, "Don't talk to Angelina or I'm not coming," which Dina felt was a threat and was going to be a big problem in the future with her and Jenny's relationship. So she didn't want to tell anybody, but because she didn't have anyone at the resort that was female at the time when this revelation came out, she decided to talk to Mike in the hallway. It was Mike and Lauren in the hallway, and they had all forgotten that there are cameras and sound recorders in the hallway to pick up all the voices. So it was recorded, and the information was relayed to the other cast members. Now they had to reveal this because Jenny was trying to play very innocent and that she was wanting to heal the group, but they had this evidence that she had sent this threatening text message to Dina, which would tear apart further and delay further the resolution of the problems that were tearing the cast apart. And that's kind of where it ends for this episode. Please give this a like if you liked the review, and I will be doing other podcasts.